Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. I have one more week of college finals, so instead of discussing relevant things to what the latest episode was about, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to go off on a bit of a tangent this time. So, it's been confirmed for the finals that it's going to be Mal versus Zoe in the final episode. We all know who the fans are going to be rooting for, or what the most expected ending would be. Episode may turn out to be a lot more interesting than what I'm currently giving credit for, since there's been a lot of fan hope that there'd be some sort of showdown between Zoe and Mike at the very least, Mal. See if she can help him regain control. There's been a lot of speculation about that, but what if, instead of the expected ending of Mike regaining control and everything going hunky-dory, what if there was an open door to an alternate universe where Mal won and kept control? What if there was that sort of ambiguous ending? Wouldn't that be kind of fun? It might be kind of expected, but at the same time, it'd be unexpected. It'd be really interesting to see that play out on the actual show. I'm going to discuss what I think would happen if that was the ending. Going into Fanon conspiracy theorist kind of stuff here. He'd build his super secret volcano lair, and then he'd start making plans to take over the world, and just that's just such a fun mental image. I hate to admit it, but it's a fun mental image. You'd have a Mojo Jojo style lair overlooking stereotypical Canadian city. It'd be even more fun if it really paid reference or homage to the Powerpuff Girls. Just have the exact same carbon copy set up, and even have Mal drop hints that he's a fan of the cartoon, but he was always rooting on the monkey. And then from there, once Mal got things started going, what if he decided to recruit some of the previous Total Drama villains as his minions? And he had access to enough funds that he'd bribe them to help him out by paying them huge sums of money. Now, a couple, they might be in on it for the same reasons that he was, but I think a lot of them will be in on it more for the money. It'd be really interesting to see which ones participated, which didn't, or if you could even get all of them in there. It'd be a really fun dynamic. And once you had this set up, remember one of the quotes that Alejandro said in the World Tour finale when he was talking to Heather, when he said, "We could take over the world together"? Let's expand upon that. Let's take that idea and expand upon it a little bit in this hypothetical setup. What if he was one of Mal's minions? And he was Mal's right-hand man. He was the idea guy when Mal couldn't come up with just the right scheme or just the right way to complete one of his schemes. And somewhere in the background, Alejandro decides to start making conspiracy plans to overthrow Mal's operation and take control of it himself as the supreme leader of this world domination co-optive, and get everybody involved and be the one that took over the world. He has to be the one with all the power who rules the world. As the Tears for Fears song goes, everybody wants to rule the world. It'd be kind of fun to see or imagine what sorts of politics would go on there. A bit more intense or banter-laden than what the showdown was in the actual show. It'd be interesting to see Alejandro decide he wanted to be some sort of person in charge like that. Like he was in it for the money originally, and then he decides that he wants in for the power. He's going in for the power, and just somewhere along the line, If Heather were one of the other minions, of course she wouldn't be down with this. As soon as Alejandro would want something, she'd want to fight him for it. She'd want to, or she might even want to overthrow Mal and go for the world domination thing herself. I don't know. Thinking about it, I've never really. She is the Queen Bee stereotype. But even if she did win the million, I just can't really see her using it for the purpose of taking over the world. I imagine her going for the Paris Hilton route, where she has this big mansion and just continues trying to chase the spotlight and going for fame and magazines and stuff like that. Just superficial crap. She wants to be in charge of stuff, but I can't really see her wanting to take over the world. But if the idea did occur to her, it might be possible. It'd actually be interesting to see how she'd react to the very prospect of it. It'd probably appeal to her quite a bit if she thought about it long enough. So, of course, you might have this trifecta of fighting politics going on. Mal versus Alejandro and Heather for who's going to lead this group to take over the world. Sorry, I have a cold. Hence the sore throat and kind of hoarse voice. The dynamic between Mal and Alejandro, to make it even more interesting, what if they decided to form a temporary alliance? Or to halt their interests for a while, to get Heather out of the picture, to get her to stop scheming or plotting against them. And then she and Alejandro would have a temporary alliance going on with the intent to overthrow Mal, and he might even have another alliance going on with her behind the scenes. They'd all be ready to double-cross each other. And it just be a big, complicated mess. It'd be a bunch of political nuances, something. Just it's so ridiculously fun to think about. Just these three trying to subvert each other and maintain control of this co-optive to take over the world. There'd be the take over the world aspect and how successful that was going, and then trying to keep control or trying to keep the organization itself together. That would be an extremely fun fan fiction situation. Some of the resources that Mal might think of using. He might amass an even bigger fortune after he has his volcano lair, and buy Wawanakwa from Chris, and then access this secret private area where all the radioactive mutant creatures are, and then tame and control these mutant creatures and decide that this is my destructive army I'm going to use to take over the world. And then you have all this going on. You might have somebody else step up to try and stop Mal. This is okay, this is probably pretty ridiculous. I've probably let this drag on for a little too long. That's really all I'm going to say right now. I've stayed up way too late. I think I drank a little too much Mountain Dew, hence the ridiculous video topic and discussion, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll probably make a more serious video about the All-Stars, the most recent All-Stars episode sometime in the next couple of days.